morning, everybody. Welcome to Rockets and our FishBowl 3. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm Michelle Tanner, and I'm joined by a special guest today, Lauren, otherwise known as MTG Hot Dog. That's what he told me,
Yes.
so I'm believing him. But say hi to the people, Lauren.
Hello, people. I'm Lauren, also known as MTG Hot Dog, cEDH tournament grinder, event caster. I recently got sponsored by Dragon Shield. I have a podcast called Punt Pals where we cater to the 75% of players who don't win their Magic games.
They need love too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm very good at losing. You know, when in doubt, if you're on a losing streak, just make content. So
Yeah, which is why we're sitting back here about to talk about some Magic. But it's wow, we have a packed house today. We have 128 players with a wait list. I mean, we just had people, everywhere in here. So no buys for this tournament. But it's looking to be a pretty stacked day. So right now we got a couple of players on stream, and I know that you picked this pot on purpose. Now, why is that?
So I picked it for Tim Nook there. I believe in seat 3, Tim Nook is somewhat notorious in the cEDH community for his Themberchild deck, and he's looking to prove something. You know, there was murmurings, kind of turned out to be a little bit of a meme that he went 3-0 at the Silicon Dynasty 2 redemption event.
Okay.
And he took that personally, and he brewed it. he brewed an actual cEDH Themberchild deck. It does win with the Themberchild in the command zone. And it's also just a very potent red deck, and he's kind of looking. Tim traditionally, I know Tim as a personal friend, doesn't play commander.
Okay.
But he kind of has a chip on his shoulder, wants to prove something, wants to show that like you can creatively brew in the cEDH space and still be competitively viable.
Look, I get that, and like as everyone knows, jokingly but not jokingly, I don't play Commander either. But I enjoy talking about Magic no matter what the format, so I can appreciate his stance on it. And also, like, just look at Amberchild; it's so cute. Yeah. Like, it was good in the movie; it's good here. I think we can make it work. But who else we got?
So seat 1 we have Lex and Najeela. Looks like that is the Warhammer reskin of Najeela. I'm not sure what turn order is. I think Tim Nook's actually seat 3. So it looks like the Naya. That's the new Naya Wolf commander. And I don't think it's not Vona.
Volja, I believe it's.
Oh, Voja. Okay, yeah.
Which is, we literally just got those as the promos and like the pre-release kits for. So I mean, it literally almost as new as it could be. Without coming from Fallout specifically.
I don't know if that is like an elf ball sort of deck or if it's like a token win through combat damage deck. I'm excited to see this. I haven't seen that in the cEDH space yet. And of course, seat 4, Tim Necrom, tried and true.
Pretty standard, even for somebody like me who doesn't play. Like I've definitely seen this deck more than once. Now, obviously, with commander decks, you can have a few, let's say, flex slots into what you like to play. But it looks like our Voja player is starting out, yes?
I'm curious what you go for. I don't have access to the deck list, and I would love to see what this deck's aiming to do.
What they're gambling?
Yeah, gambling. They can't crypt into a Rhystic Study. I am very excited to see what this deck, and I think it's safe to say this is the first time ever on a command tower tracked game, and I think the inclusion of Voja and Themberchild are the reason for this, but this is the first time ever this pod composition has been tracked in over 22,000 games.
Wow. I mean, we're setting records already. It's only round 1.
Sharky, yes, there is Themberchild on stream. We are playing a cEDH tournament, and we have Themberchild. The deck is very good. Went 2-1 last night when we were gold fishing. I think a lot of people sleep on it. There's a lot of AB combos in mono red, and it can win on turn 2 pretty consistently. So I'm.
But you could barely ask for much better than that.
Especially in mono red.
Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh, we had a spill on Isle Voja here.
Isle Voja.
I think that's gonna be a little reshuffle here. I believe he got the card he gambled, but then the rest of the deck went down with it. So it shouldn't be an issue. You know, he was already going through his deck anyway, so it shouldn't be a judge concern. But yeah, definitely difficult when you're dealing with a large stack of cards to. Okay, here's the gamble. 3, let's flip it.
We are pitching a Sacred
Foundry?
Foundry. Probably not the gamble target.
Yeah, we would imagine, unless he kept a really interesting hand. But maybe the gamble's just to set something up for later, but I guess it's, because gambling with a bunch of cards in hand, you're pretty unlikely to lose the thing you gambled for.
Right.
Never 0, though. Never 0%.
Looking at this pod comp, and we see Najeela deploying the Mana Vault, I think the bottom half of the table is much better poised than the top half. I think a lot of these decks are creature-centric. Najeela's going to have a tough time swinging in.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Themberchat has like 20 creatures in the deck. We have pitching a Rite of Flame. Oh, no, we're casting the Rite of Flame.
Yeah.
Is that a Chrome Mox? I thought that was a Mox Opal, but it looks like it's a Chrome Mox pitching a Rite of Flame.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little difficult with all the different arts to tell what is what, especially when it's upside down.
We have Tim Nook with
Hey,
the Mox
starting out with the
Diamond.
beautiful just mountain to oh, look at this. This is just classy.
I'd like to say all the mountains are snow-covered mountains. There is a Scred in the Themberchat list.
I really enjoy this list.
We
I
have
don't
a
know, a faithless to
Okay.
go get maybe something cool.
I think Mono Red just traditionally has problems drawing cards.
Yeah, I mean every red spell is basically, sacrifice your firstborn to draw a card
Which
kind
I've
of
done
thing.
before.
But they're never free. There's never a red spell that doesn't ask a price.
If I'm T and K, I'm feeling really good though about
Okay.
Discarding a Goblin Welder and a
Welder
Mana
and
Geyser.
Yeah, okay.
I'm feeling great if I'm T and K, especially if I did the early dockside deployment. I mean, I'm gonna be docksiding for at least 4.
Oh, the dockside will be huge.
Yeah. But I really think the bottom half of the table is the better positioned decks sitting here.
Yeah, I mean, they do have access to just a little, probably more well-rounded ways to win, too.
It is amazing seeing Themberchat. I still can't get over it. It's like surreal. This deck's good.
All right, so got an LED.
Oh no. Okay. An Imperial Seal.
Sure.
I have to say, that Imperial Seal is high risk, high reward. You're
Yeah.
looking down 3 decks that I'm willing to bet all run Ragavans.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to put it on top and say, well, please don't attack me.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I'm not doing anything. Meanwhile, you're playing some of, like, the most high-end commanders possible.
Yeah,
so,
including Themberchat.
you always look like a threat.
Yeah. Oh, I see. You T and K being the.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see what you're saying.
You can't really leave the deck alone, right? They
Right.
can kind of just win out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Um,
And I think the opponent's not deploying creatures puts Najeela in the driver's seat right now.
Oh yeah, with
Um,
being that far ahead on Manitou, you kind of just hope to throw something down and hope it sticks and
Exactly.
go to town, right?
Yeah, you can deploy the Najeela. You're gonna swing through pretty confidently and start developing a critical mass of warriors.
Mhm.
If everyone was playing a turn 1 creature, I would feel again the bottom half of the table, but seeing sort of this game plan of early mana development rather than true,
Yeah.
even threat or board development.
It definitely lends towards the aggro-centric deck to kind of jump in and shoot their shot, as
Yeah.
it were.
Yeah, I'm feeling good if I'm Najeela.
Which, look, I'm gonna cheer for the mono red deck. I want to see some things happen.
Bat Dragon is I think
That
the name
dra-
of the deck.
It's so cute, and I feel some sort of way about it now. Now that you talked it up, I'm just like, okay.
You've learned to love it.
I want to see it. I want to see it do well.
And Tim really only plays pre-modern, so the fact he went from pre-modern to Themberchat.
That is an interesting line there. All right. So it's,
Drannith Magistrate.
okay. Well, I mean, that's a creature.
That is a clutch creature in this pod.
Yeah.
TNK is probably tooting for an early Timna or Crom. If I'm assuming I could be a breach. I don't think it's going to be a breach, but
It does feel a little early to just go get the breach now and then
Right.
possibly not have it for later.
don't even have to
Especially-
worry about it now, though.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just a little. It's always interesting because we can't hear the players, but you see everybody's hands like kind of lean into accepting things as they go.
Yeah. So Windswept Teeth pass from Najeela, that's telling me that that player banked around having that Najeela early.
Yeah.
That is, Brian Koval. I love Brian. We're friends. Bosch and Roll. Something that he says in his videos is your opponents will always tell you what's in their hand. You just have to be able to look.
Yeah.
And those are the signals where I'm going Windswept Teeth pass. That is telling me the only other exception could be like an end of turn ad nause. But if I'm sitting at that table, I'm seeing okay. The land pass in a Najeela deck, you mulligan for that.
Oh yeah. So what do we got going on here?
I think we had a mountain pass, and
Is
then we
this-
had a underground sea pass.
It's a very interestingly kind of slow start to everybody so far. Like kind of here's some mana rocks and go, I guess.
I'm gonna read what Voja does. I don't know if Voja's a combo piece.
Well, Voja has almost every keyword on
but
it.
it's keyword soup.
I think it's like Vigilance, Trample, Ward 2, Ward 3. It's something excessive for like a 6 mana creature. or 5-mana creature. I think it's like a 5-mana 6/6. It's very large.
It is a 5-mana 5/5 with
5-mana
Vigilance,
5/5.
Trample, Ward 3. When it attacks, put X 1/1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of elves you control. Draw a card for each wolf you control. We're playing Wolf Elf Ball.
Yeah, you would expect to see some amount of maybe tokens or something with wolf on it, you know?
I have to applaud the attack with the Drannith. I think that is a...
Getting in there.
See, I think it's an unnecessary risk.
It's
you
a
see
bit
your opponents
aggressive.
have open mana. I mean, they can flash in the Orcish Bowmasters, double block, kill the Drannith, and then
yeah.
unlock the next turn. That's a risky attack.
It is, especially when everyone's at a healthy 40 or like, I mean, it's not killing anybody.
Right.
What do we got upside down there?
We have a Birds of
Oh, it's a
Paradise,
birds, okay.
and we had Ancient Tomb Birds of Paradise, presumably passing. I'm assuming that...
1,000,000 mana for the Nagila player to have access to.
And that Birds of Paradise can pretty confidently was drawn, otherwise we would have cast it last turn.
Yeah.
So we know we know what their newest
Yeah.
card was, and I'm assuming that no Agnaws, even with all that mana. Is that really a Themberchild? Yes. Yeah, that's really a Themberchild. What enchantment did Voja play? That is a Howling Moon, I believe. Let me pull that up. It's like a weird werewolf card.
Yeah, it's the super dark version too, which for us, unfortunately, is really hard to read. Oh wow, a brand new card.
Crime Novelist.
Which is it's a cute little guy. I love the little scribe sitting there just writing his little book about, you know, murder mysteries or whatever he's into. But yeah, every time artifact, you know, they sack an artifact. Oh, and just how you mentioned, there is a Bowmasters there.
Howling Moon, to those asking in chat, is a 1 green, 2 colorless enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target wolf or werewolf you control gets +2/+2. And whenever an opponent casts their second spell per turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token.
I wonder where this Bowmaster's going. It seems like an easy, like, kill your birds.
Might be killing the Crime Novelist.
Crime Novelist is like naturally a 1/3 though, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was a 1/1.
I believe it's a 3-drop 1/3. Yeah, they killed the bird. Which is a reasonable choice. I mean, you bolt the bird. You always do, right? Like,
It is a 1/3. I apologize.
yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's like it's a 1/3, and then like whenever you crack an artifact, it gets +1/+1 counter on it, and then you add a red.
Can quickly become a threat in the...
Oh yeah, it can get huge with enough like treasures and things. But right now it's a reasonable size.
Yeah.
So birds off the table, Bowmasters in play. Nobody seems in the lane of drawing a bunch of extra cards right now for this Bowmasters to be super scary, but
I have to assume that's what they aim sealed for.
yeah. It does. I mean, it seems like a reasonable choice, right? Even
Yeah.
if somebody had Ragavan them, they were just banking on not having that happen. They were like, nope, couldn't be me.
What a feature match, though. Again, we've never seen this bod comp before.
Yeah.
I am so curious what this Voja deck
That's
can
what we're
do.
bringing you in the FishBowl 3. New stuff.
Second,
New and interesting things.
yeah, second largest ever West Coast CEDH tournament.
Which is crazy. There's so many people in here.
So to all those haters, you know, as a West Coast guy, all those haters that say West Coast doesn't show up, you know, we're here.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, we have people from all over. We got people from Vegas. We got people from out of state. I mean, it's just everybody wanted an event.
Yeah.
So we got it.
Love it. I had friends flying from Vegas, San Jose,
Yeah.
and we have a Ristic study.
Finally, well, see, you can only you want to be the person with the Bowmasters in play if you have a Ristic study.
Yeah.
No one else gets to draw cards profitably.
I think it's safe to say this is resolving. Doesn't seem like anyone has too much action. Yep,
Yeah.
Ristic is resolving.
It would be hard. They'd all be hard pressed to be countering things given the comp here. Not to say impossible, but difficult.
I was pulling for Red Elemental Blast.
Yeah,
A boy can dream.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a kid, it's a difficult one to be like, yeah, get that Ristic out of here, and then they just combo off and kill you or
Right.
something.
I'm still feeling good about the bottom half of the table being the better position decks right now.
I mean, it looks like the Tim Necrom deck is slowly just kind of doing their thing, right? Gotta point to that Ristic. This is where it starts.
Paying for a mana dork and a known Orcish Bowmaster. I like the courage.
Actually insane.
One person doesn't pay their taxes on the Ristic, that Elvish Mystic's gone.
Yeah, I mean, any extra triggers just eats any poor little mana dorks that enter the field here.
If I was a gambling man, I don't think that Elvish Mystic's long for this world.
Yeah, I mean, maybe no one will draw an extra card.
That's what I always say when my
Except-
opponent.
Except for the person with the bowmaster, and then it doesn't count. It's basically fine.
Oh, true. I forgot how that works.
Yeah,
so,
it's free.
Yeah, I have egg on my face now. That's my hope though. Whenever someone plays a Ristic study, I'm like, yeah, I really hope they just don't draw cards.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're like, I will pay it.
Pay your taxes.
Look, it's no fish, all right? You can pay one sometimes.
I'll be honest. I tell people to pay their Ristics. And I just try to. I'm like, okay, thank you everyone for tapping out to pay your taxes. I'm just gonna try.
All right, the Najeela player has a plethora of land and mana over there, really just getting set up.
All gas, no engine.
Oh yeah, I mean, something will happen eventually.
Thumberchild in the tank.
That is an interesting, like what thoughts could be had over there?
Possibly a bolt or a scred to get rid of the bowmasters. I don't know what he's scared of right now.
Yeah, I mean, Bowmasters has the highest ceiling of being a problem, right?
Yeah. Very well said.
I think if you have anything, which Mono Red tends to have some way to interact with creatures easily, they also could be thinking of maybe lines to increase their novelist, because there's some lines of, oh, and a quick reminder that the FishBowl 3 has an exclusive playmat, and you say you actually know the artist.
Yeah, Gold Sabretooth, Tim Toronto, Gold Sabretooth. Oh, we have a dockside
Oh.
from Tim Nook.
If this resolves, this crime novelist is about to be writing a story, because it will have potential to become gigantic.
Wow.
And
What's count right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah, I think you're right. Assuming there's no artifact hiding that I can't see. So an excessive amount, especially considering crime novelist gives you a red back.
And paid for the Ristic.
So like you can crack a bunch of treasures for free. Essentially, you're floating double mana, whatever he gets.
Wow.
So he can do and this does seem to be just resolving here, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot.
And that's telling me if I'm Tim, no one's countering this dockside for 6, and no one's cracking their treasures. 1, they're not respecting my deck, which is offensive. But 2, they
How dare you?
They don't have anything. I mean, if I had a 4th, I'd be forcing this.
Oh, you absolutely think that you just have free reign to do whatever you want now.
Maybe
And
false sense of security though, but
that turns this crime novelist into a beast, a gigantic creature. Like you can just swing. You just swing on
unfortunate.
somebody.
Yeah.
But also the fact that you can just make extra. So like if you have 6, so you have essentially 12 red to work with. That's a lot.
Unfortunately, you can't cast a Thember though. Thember almost wipes the board.
Yeah, I was like,
If
please,
you can resolve it.
please, we just want him in play.
Treason ogre.
That quick point, are you paying? He's like, yeah, I guess you're drawing a card.
Wow.
Which, interestingly enough, if he has all that mana, maybe he needs it all.
And we did have a Howling Moon trigger for the first time in the game. So
No, well, wolf! We got people drawing cards, we got wolves. We have very, very many treasures.
I'm curious what the payoff is on this for Tim here. Looks
I-
like 1 card in hand.
Oh, we were all just waiting to see him flip something with this,
I'm
right?
shaking.
Because it's just gotta be something cool for him to decide this is the time.
Yeah. I'm so excited for this. And Tim's a smart player. He knows he's not going to play that dockside just to have it get a copy.
Yeah, that's what like you don't here's a dockside and then I will pass turn. Like you just don't do that, right?
No.
Dockside resolved. Okay, we're doing some things.
Okay. Oh, we're cracking all the mana.
Okay.
Being very methodical too, making sure he's not missing his triggers. And Crime Novelist just went from a 1/3 to like a 7/8 or a 6.
What does have 4 counters on it
yeah,
now?
5/7.
Yeah. All of a sudden, just a heavy hitter.
Oh, an Imperial Recruiter.
So many triggers from this Ristic study already.
Easy to pay right now. I'm wondering if there's a Twin Flame in hand, and this is when he goes for the dual caster line.
I mean, he has 2 cards. It looks like he has 2 cards in hand currently.
Yep.
So a reasonable assumption is that he has half of what he needs.
Yeah.
Right. So this does seem to be if he just like let's go like right now, this is gonna be a fun line to watch.
I like it. I like it a lot. And the Imperial Recruiter, I think, is potentially an undervalued card in this deck. It can grab Kiki-Jiki, it can grab Dualcaster Mage, it can grab Dockside if you really need it. He has basically infinite mana.
Well,
with
that
the
looks like a
Treasonous Ogre.
Kiki-Jiki to me.
That does look like a Kiki-Jiki. Tim Nook might be winning this on Thunder Chat.
I mean, at this point, if anybody has a way to interact, you feel that it would have happened, right?
I think so.
There's certain, like, steps in a game where if you let a person go to a certain point, you should have stopped them earlier. You just, it's just showing that you don't have it, right? It's like you already have only one person that probably has an actual counterspell.
Hopefully you have the REB or something.
Yeah,
I want to
like-
see this deck win. I'm like shaking right now.
Well, it was your choice to put it up here, so and you wanted to see that adorable dragon. Go
No
the
one believed in
distance.
it. Fat dragon doing its thing.
It is a cutie pie.
Wow.
It might never have to enter the battlefield to just win.
Any Themberchat enjoyers? Any Themberchat believers in the chat? Can I get a roar in the chat if you believe in Themberchat right now?
Looks like the rest of the treasures are popping. So we got a lot of red mana just floating along here.
And you have the Treasonous Ogre. So mana's not an issue.
I think this is a quick point at, like, here's why I have all this mana.
Yeah.
Between crime novelists and everything else, it's just there's a lot of stuff's happening, a lot of triggers. The novelist is huge.
Maybe Pigeon asking, do Themberchat believers exist? If there are no Themberchat believers, I'm dead.
Kiki-Jiki, Ristic Draw?
I
mean,
would just pay the 3 life.
I mean, at any point, like, what if they just drew the counter they didn't have? Like, what if you just draw the force off the top? Easy,
Yeah.
right? Like,
you can pay with the okay.
but it resolved, so
We are activating Kiki-Jiki. Targeting the Imp Recruiter. Okay.
I don't believe that's actually an 11/11. It's just standing in there. There you go, an
There-
actual
yeah.
copy. I was like, not to confuse anybody at home. Sometimes you just use what you got. That is a really cool copy token, by the way.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That looks like Metropolis art for like the
Yeah, it
I
really
like
does.
a lot.
This is the fun thing you get to see in pods is just who brought the most interesting tokens.
Tim notoriously does not carry tokens, so
Well, somebody brought some treasures in red mana, so
really hot orc army, really hot copy. Yeah, no, the Shane S is bringing their A game on the tokens.
Yeah.
My friend makes those tokens. That's hype.
oh, that's cool.
Love a good token friend. Wait, no, that's a friend who makes tokens.
We enjoy art creators here.
Tim's in the tank on this.
Yeah,
shooter.
it seemed like the first one was easy. You just grab that Kiki-Jiki.
Dual caster.
Okay, so I mean, he didn't have either of these cards in hand, but this was also a reasonable line, right?
Is
so
that last card Twin Flame?
I mean,
I hope he doesn't goof the combo. If Themberchat has a million fans, then I'm... Yes, exactly.
yeah.
That's me right now. Themberchat believers. I'm going to take another photo of this damn board state.
I feel like at this point the other players are somewhat just kind of F6'd.
It seems like that.
We're just waiting to see if he has a way to kill everybody.
I really hope we see a Twin Flame, and I hope Tim sequences this properly, because he might just have the win.
Yeah. Well, so far so good. So we're gonna we're gonna say he's doing a good job. So quick shuffle, which takes at least 5 minutes in Commander.
Yeah. My heart is racing right now. Themberchat, exactly.
Denver Chad. That does seem accurate in this piece. Cut the deck. Will it matter? I guess we'll find out.
He just has to stick that Twin Flame onto a dockside, make all the mana he needs.
I believe he still has like the same like 2 cards in hand. So, went ahead, put the. I wonder if he has everything he needs this turn.
Maybe he doesn't.
Because now that I'm like, how does he pay for anything else?
Treasonous Ogre. You can pay for your life to make a red mana, so he can make 10, or he can make 11 mana,
Mm-hmm.
and then the combo for Dualcaster Twin Flame is 5.
Sure.
Theoretically.
He did go to combat though, so maybe he's just trying to see about getting in some damage first.
Mm-hmm. I suppose the Kiki token goes away.
Mm-hmm.
He's moving to end step passing.
Yeah, he
could have saved the Kiki to then imp recruiter on somebody's turn. Interesting line by Tim. There also could be table talk of going like, hey, I have a counter spell if you're gonna play into it.
Yeah, I mean, that is also the thing that we are never 100% sure of, is like the political aspect of a Commander game.
Right.
When we can't hear the players, there could be talks and deals and things happening that we just don't know.
Right.
Wow. I'm gonna get epilepsy from
the Jeez.
So anything's possible there. I mean, he does look to be in the I untap and win board state. So
if he can't, it's a skill issue.
Yeah, so it does seem like it could very possibly be that somebody let him know that that would not happen.
Yeah.
But we just can't say for sure. So we'll assume that he had a reason for just passing the turn there.
Yeah. I'm amazed though that if I'm sitting at the table and
a horrifying board state for sure.
I think we're about to see a dark side.
I mean, Simian Spirit Guide does seem like
demonic.
No, that's a
tutor.
demonic tutor. The very fancy one too. I like
that one. Okay. We are tutoring. We have an LED.
Mm-hmm.
We have pretty much we know the rest of the table doesn't have interaction.
Yeah, I mean, this does seem like the test at this point. Plus, our Timna play, like, they drew quite a few cards off of that heuristic, so like, whereas they might not have had a whole lot going on previously, they might have drawn everything they needed now.
Yeah.
And whatever they were missing, well, you tutor for it.
My heart's like still racing from that member chow turn. That was almost like Icarus. A little too close to the sun, but God, it was good to see.
The hot turn.
That was so good. Wow. I can't believe this deck did that.
The dockside count, not as high as it would have been given all the treasures and everything has cracked, but I mean, still a reasonable one.
Yeah. I mean, dockside count would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think it's the same as it was before, yeah.
I think 5 is reasonable if you can turn 2 mana into 5, but I don't think you're tutoring for that.
No, that seems slightly awkward to already be paying for the privilege of making a few extra treasures.
Pay mana to make mana.
Yeah.
My assumption is it has to be some sort of an attempt. You have the LED. I don't know, depending on what the cards are in hand, you could be going for your breach, especially if one of them is brain freeze.
Yeah. So you could either have a line to possibly try to combo off this turn, or grab some sort of protection to stop the Themberchod player from going off on their turn. Both of these lines would be reasonable depending on what's in his hand, right?
I have to say, if you are tutoring to stop the Themberchod deck,
then they've already won.
They've already won the game. Breach, you just win here with 10 size. Should. I mean, you would breach. You'd be able to recast one card. DT. Oh, yeah, that should win. You wouldn't have the blue. Oh, yeah, you have enough mana. Yeah, breach should win. You, cast breach, cast Lion's Eye Diamond.
Well, let's see it.
Oh.
He's just gonna toxic the board away. That is also a upsetting line.
Yeah.
You still have Drannith Magistrate, Mystic.
Oh, you have the Drannith.
Yeah, that's it. This is where he has to start.
You have the Drannith.
This poor forgotten Drannith over here, really doing its best.
So I will say, I'm going to throw myself under the bus a little bit. I've cast a lot of tournaments, and I have a podcast about losing in Commander.
You're just trying to stick to your guns.
Yeah,
here.
I'm notorious for like casting, and I'm like, oh yeah, this person just has the win. And then someone in chat's like, there's a Drannith. I'm like, oh.
Easy to focus on the person directly across from them that has a very lethal combination of cards. But this Deluge will also clean a lot of that up too. So, pretty good one.
Stacks is for
pretty
nerds.
Solid Deluge.
Hate bears are for nerds. Notably, I think this puts Tim McCrom in the driver's seat. Tim will just have their crime novelist left, which I'm not extremely concerned about.
Yeah, which is huge, but not going to win a game on its own.
Yeah.
Right now.
If you're min-maxing as T and K, you might have wanted to swing in for 2 to get 2 points of damage on Najeela. If Najeela wins by 2 life, that's extremely relevant.
I mean, some of this is also contextual based off of what's in your hand and stuff. But yeah, I would imagine those life points probably not relevant.
Hopefully.
You hope that they're not.
Nomad Damon says, shout out Pun Palace. Thank you, Damon. Appreciate it. Our logo's also by Gold Sabertooth.
This is all just one large sales pitch for
For me.
Oh yeah, just every punt we keep.
Oh, yeah.
we keep track today.
Yeah, the punt count.
Yeah.
Not the players, but my own.
Yeah, just yours.
For missing Dranis. Yeah, that's why they're there and I'm here.
Yeah. Well, we went from a very interesting board state to
A Sylvan
a
Library.
very clear one. This Ristic really just drawing some cards.
Looks like they're paying.
Although, I mean, if he has nothing else to do, they absolutely pay it. Don't
Yeah.
let him have more cards. He just toxic the board away.
Yeah. After tutoring, you have to assume that tutor was.
Yeah,
toxic.
that just seemed like the most reasonable choice there.
The TNK player tutor toxic to deal with Denver Chow. They already lost. I think that's actually true. If you're devoting resources, now Najila's
I mean, there's
online.
a pretty good shot that it was going to be to kill the Dranith, and they would have just, if all they needed was a targeted spell, right?
True.
They could have, but Toxic gets to clean up 2 different problems.
That's true.
Seems good. But now, the Najila player, actually getting a little action here.
Usually, being toxic causes me more problems, but it looks like in this toxic it dealt with problems. So we have a Najila, paid the taxes on that, fetching for a Volk. Big follow-up. Let's go. Are those Pokemon sleeves? I can't tell. They're kind of sick, though.
I think they are.
Shout out to the
Thank
person
you.
using Pokemon sleeves. Love it. Soaring.
Okay.
Paying taxes on it, too. That's the Pride secret lair.
Yeah, nobody wants this Ristic study to draw any more cards.
I look deep into the art. They have a Marsha P. Johnson reference on that Soaring art, which I think is like incredibly cool.
That's funny.
Shout out to Marsha P.
So, how are we rebuilding over here with our Themberchod stuff? We went from, what, 3 cards in hand to drawing to 4? I mean, kind of depends, right? But he only has 2 mountains in play now, so...
If I'm Tim, I'm not casting anything, and I'm using that dual cast. Okay,
Oh.
Dash Dragavan. I'm using that dual caster to maybe grab somebody's tutor or something like that.
Ragavan also good here, though.
I do like the Ragavan.
Getting a treasure, not irrelevant.
And I'm probably attacking into the Najila, see if they take the trade, and if they don't, they're also a deck that uses their life total as a resource.
It also seems reasonable to go directly across the
Yeah.
board here, though, especially if he wants a clean attack.
Yeah.
Or he splits it up to be a little more diplomatic, like, yeah, Crime Novelist at the Timna player, and then Ragavan over at the Voja player. See where this goes.
My only argument against that is I think you want to attack Najila, hope they take the trade, or attack the TNK. Their card quality is going to be much higher than the Voja deck, and you have access to just better tutors.
I think it might come down to, does he really need that treasure?
That's true.
If he needs it, then you don't take the risk,
True.
right? Because you have to guarantee that you're hitting.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's more of a contextual based off his hand. And I think, no, he's just putting the monkey bag and passing turn. So
Oh, we still have access to Dualcaster.
it looks like
You crack the treasure, trigger Crime Novelist, and then you have the extra red.
he's just gonna have to wait another turn and hope that he does not lose in the meanwhile.
Oh, I'm saying you can Dualcaster just to try to get back in the game. If someone demonic tutors or imp seals even, you
Oh,
Dualcaster
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Jeweled Lotus.
Okay.
I think we're going to Crom time. I suppose if their hands just doo-doo, you can Timna and Crom. And we're
Okay.
seeing Crom. And entering my favorite when I'm playing TNK, Crombat.
Please.
Thank you. I'll be here all day. This is round 1, and we're already getting going.
Oh yeah, this is only round 1. Oh lord.
As she's sipping her coffee
Yeah.
out of spite.
Need the energy.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like just Crom and pass here. Maybe.
If I'm Voja, I'm taking 8 feeling great. You know that Crom is on the defensive, protecting their life total.
Yeah, I mean, being at 24 is not insignificant with this like giant crime novelist and some other things.
Taking 8, feeling great. I love it. Love it from the Voja deck.
So, got a wolf. Got a couple of things over here. Nothing
You do have a 2/2.
nothing insane going on though.
No.
Just a little bit of everything.
Someone said too early for Crombat. If you think I'm delirious now, just wait till like I get hit true delirium. I have 4 card types in my graveyard, and then I just go sicko mode.
So I'd have to wonder what the Sylvan Library found, but it looks like Voja's just coming in hot.
I like it. We're gonna start getting
I mean,
some
it's a
damage in.
difficult card to get off the field. So like Voja's here now, and if somebody doesn't win the game soon, this Voja could just clear things out just by combat.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Swinging with the wolf. What,
See.
you're not blocking.
I think he's swinging into the Najila. But here's the sort of the prisoner's dilemma now that Najila has. They can't profitably swing in. There's a known dual caster in Timnook's hand.
Yeah.
So you just block the Najila, kill it. You can't swing into Voja or Crom.
Yep.
I'm not feeling great if I'm.
It feels like they just ended up being like a turn behind
Mm-hmm.
where they had a window and it just seems like it kind of went away.
Very well put.
So I'm curious where they're. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I guess he's just okay with that happening.
Maybe just digging for the Twin Flame. Maybe he actually just you might be 100% correct. Just need that treasure to go for the Twin Flame combo right now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, without knowledge of all the cards in his hand, it's just kind of we can only guess what his options are.
I'm excited to
All
see
right, well.
if this is if there's a window.
It's
this
like
is
we
it.
know 2 cards. We know Ragavan and we know Caster, right?
Yeah.
But everything else is a mystery. Well, we know another one, a mountain.
Scred getting better and better for every mountain played.
Okay. Is
Dashing-
this just monkey again?
Probably.
Because then I
Yep.
think. Yeah, I guess just draw your card. He doesn't have the extra mana to play around with.
Swinging in probably to Najila.
I mean, at this point, Najil is the only safe attack.
Yeah.
So if you're going there, crime novelist probably could still swing. Yeah, I was like,
Nice,
still swinging
nice.
across because if you're not blocking with Crom, and if you are, great, and if you don't, great.
Are we about to see a chain of vapor? A chain of vapor.
Ooh.
Dang.
Well,
Tim
uh,
leaning over to read it.
yes, it unfortunately does just go ahead and bounce your very, very cool stacked novelist that you can replay, and it will just. Oh, okay.
That mana's gonna empty. Oh, maybe dual caster on the.
I mean, this
chain?
is still in combat, so like you assume that it has to be something at instant speed here.
Hard cast deflecting swat.
Hey, okay,
So-
okay.
Tim pointed to what he's going to be redirecting the targets to. I want to point out Deflecting Swat just targets the spell. Upon resolution of Deflecting Swat is when you actually change the target, so you don't need to announce what the changes are going to be.
Yeah, I think he was just kind of a little quick on it, just maybe
Yeah.
just assuming, yeah, this is gonna resolve.
It's probably going to.
I
but-
mean, it's a hard card to fight over specifically.
Where are those trigger tokens on the blue? I don't know what blue farm is. I know what Timna Crom is. I don't know blue farm. But yeah, I'm curious as to there should be more announcement of triggers for the Ristic study and for the Crom draw as well. We have the Connect, and that is a Lord of the Rings card.
Yeah, I was like, I actually can't read that. I'm not super familiar with that art.
Combat something? No, it can't be
Oh, wait.
combat something. Oh,
Oh.
Grim Reaper Sprint from Fallout.
Oh, so we got the newest of new cards in here. Dang, they must
Okay.
have grabbed that
What
last
does that
night.
card even do? Yeah. Cracking those collector's
Yeah.
boosters.
I was like, look, I'm not saying I didn't also open Fallout back this year, but I don't remember seeing that card. So
Grim Reaper Sprint. Let me pull that up real quick. It's from New Vegas for what it's worth, and Fallout 4. It is 1 red, 4 colorless, enchantment aura with morbid. It costs 3 less if a creature died this turn. Enchant creature. When it enters the battlefield, untap each creature you control. If it's your main phase, there's an additional combat step. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 in haste. Makes sense to put that in
okay,
Najila.
yeah,
Especially if you can like Diabolic Intent into it, get that the morbid trigger, and then
Yeah, that seems like a fun one. A little spicy.
Yeah, I like it. I like seeing the innovation. Like seeing
Okay.
the brewing. We
So
have a Boromir. Boromir sacks and does a Ranger Captain effect, if I remember correctly. There's like 4 Boromirs though.
yeah, I was like, which is he's like, what is he, like a 3-drop, like 3/3 with vigilance or something like
Yes,
that?
I believe
And then-
so. So Boromir, Warden of the Tower, is a 1 white, 2 colorless, 3/3 with vigilance. When an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counters it. So it does the Lavinia effect.
Yeah.
And you may sacrifice it, and creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The ring tempts you.
Ah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So
It's not quite a ranger one. It's a similar idea
Yep.
though.
the indestructible. I got it confused. So it's like
Yeah.
a Lavinia mixed with a selfless savior.
Yeah, just no free spells. Get out of here.
Kind of cool. Good Timna attacker.
Yeah. I mean, vigilance is nice. You can get in your little bips and baps while just kind of being on defense.
Are those technical terms?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're just getting in for 3 damage, that's not much more than a bip.
Yeah.
It's the same as
Drawing a card is the bop, right?
it's the same as a little cat just booping you on the nose.
We have
Is that a Llanowar elf
the
like secret lair?
lair. Have you seen the full art? There's a corgi in that art.
Oh,
actually
no,
pretty awesome.
that's cute. Though.
In the bottom left corner, there's like a corgi that's hidden by the text box.
Secret corgi.
Yeah. It's Commander Secret Corgi.
So the Vosha player has like a significant menagerie over in front of them. Not looking to be a deck that just kind of wins on their own turn like out of nowhere, but I'd be happy to be surprised.
I'd like to shout out the Menagerie. If you know, you know. Menagerie forever. Menagerie for life.
Vosha's a pretty good attacker here, though. I mean, Vigilance, Trample, Ward 3. Like, what can it not do?
I'd be hard pressed. I don't know if I want to pressure T&K's board. They just wasted a Chain of Vapor and a land to get rid of the Crime Novelist, so they are concerned about their life total.
Yeah, I mean, it's dwindling.
Or if I pressure Nagila's life total.
Recording feature has been turned on.
Looks like we are attacking Nagila.
Feature has
So
been
maybe
turned
it's
on.
tokens going over here. Maybe it's a little bit of everybody. Like, let's throw a little damage here, a little damage there, and keep everybody lower than me. You know?
Yeah.
Which is a reasonable line to take in a four-man pod here. Four-person pod.
Memo, yes, this is the Tim Nook of Silicon Dynasty 2 fame. It is the Tim Nook on Themberchild.
I don't know why I thought I immediately went to Animal Crossing in my head.
Oh, you should see the shirt he's wearing.
Is-
He's wearing the Tom Nook shirt.
It's funny.
That was I'm here with Alex.
All right, so
AKA
Boja's stacking some counters here. We're doing some interesting stuff.
Okay. Sorry, I was showing Hire. I took a photo of Thunderchat's board state from earlier. Hire's our TO for this event. I had to show him the chattening. Taking loans and taking lives.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, we have triggers.
Yeah, so our tokens are just getting a little bit bigger. Which, not as scary just yet, but I mean, another turn or two, and this is a very lethal board state for somebody.
And we did block one of the 3/3 wolves, and that
Yeah.
shows TNK
Yeah.
fighting for every point of
Oh.
damage they could possibly receive right now.
Yeah, I mean, being below 20 is not an insignificant number here.
Right. Notably, the Llanowar Elves, something I didn't consider with Voja, that is a cantrip from
Yeah.
Voja's ability. So that's a really cool synergy.
And also interesting now, currently, you know, the Timna player has no creatures in play. They are looking like,
Oh, jeez.
oh, is that a range captain?
That is a
Okay.
Ranger Captain.
So, Ranger Captain, solid choice for multiple reasons here. Having the very specific ability that you can just go ahead and sack it and stop somebody from comboing off early if you need to.
Did we miss our search? Oh, no.
No, they're doing it right now.
I was like, what the heck just happened? That's like half the value of the card we just
Yeah.
missed. I'm checking time in the round. 28 minutes left in the round here.
Which you probably say there might just be more mana dorks to grab or something that fulfills that. Although it looks like Esper Sentinel and maybe something else here.
Okay, Ragavan. Something to consider as well, most of the lines in Najeela are going to be creature-based lines. So that Ranger Captain really is only keeping the Timna Crom deck
Yeah.
in check.
But perfectly good at that.
100%.
I would have sack it off immediately. I mean,
100%.
nope. I would like you to not do anything during your turn.
And we have a Eldritch Evolution.
Oh, okay.
X equals 3, possibly a Derevi, if they're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I
which
mean,
I think
if they're
this is
playing the
your window.
Ragavan just to evolution it, they have reasons.
Yep. Derevi just wins the game. If that's what they're grabbing. You have open attack. Oh, we have Swan Song on the Eldritch with a Fierce for a 6-day
Oh.
trigger. So okay, the table is realizing that this is the end game right now.
Yeah, everybody's kind of in that same boat where they have about a turn to just win here. So
And I think we saw every player kind of try to take that opportunity. Voja's a little hard in a combat-centric deck, but
yeah,
I feel TNK did try to stabilize to open that window. Thunderchow definitely did try to win. I'm assuming we're going to see a Derevi hit the field, and if that is the case, that is going to be GG's with the amount of warriors that we have, because we will have 4 Najeela triggers with open attacks, and you'll just hit a critical mass. Tim got this. Not quite scorish. Thank you for showing up, though, buddy. Good to see you.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, we went for a... We cannot grab a Grim Hireling. Eldritch Evolution says X plus 2 or less.
if there's no going down. You only get. I mean,
It's X plus 2 or less. But Grim Hireling's 4.
yeah. I was like,
There's
it was a Ragavan, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, it's only 3.
Yeah. So we are in the end game. This is going to be, unless there's some sort of trick to get rid of the Najeela or the Derevi, Najeela will attack, make the tokens. You can double target on the combat damage from Derevi to untap your lands. You can make 5 mana very easily with 4 warriors.
It's like our Voja player is pretty tapped out and not looking to have probably any answers here. I mean, Timna tried with the Swan Song, just didn't work out.
And this is where I have egg on my face a little bit.
Well, I got it from
It's a
Book
creature-centric combo. If that Ranger Captain was cracked, though, we would have stopped losing.
I mean, it's a little difficult to say though, because you have
100%.
to do it immediately, and you don't necessarily expect, because if they just raw cast the card, then you lose anyway, right?
100%.
So I think it would totally reasonable to hold it for the Timna player
Yep.
and just hope and pray.
Yep, yeah. It was a gamble for sure. And I think if I'm in Voja's seat, I don't crack the Ranger Captain.
I would if I was in their seat, I wouldn't have either. So
Hindsight's 2020.
yeah, there's nothing you can do when it's like, oh, a spell I could have stopped. Well, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do there.
So we are demonstrating now how we can untap, reactivate Najeela. We're going to make a critical mass of warriors, continually untap, make infinite combats, make a bajillion warriors. And the table probably is going to start scooping up here shortly.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless they want to make them go through the motions, which you can do. You can just have people play out their combos.
yeah. You can inflict psychic damage by doing that. Yeah, I think it's
I was like,
GG's.
this is usually everybody looks around and talks and says, anything?
Angel's Grace.
Oh my.
Wow. So that's almost like a Final Fortune, right? Like
Angel's Grace means they don't lose the game right now.
right.
So the Najeela player can do whatever they want.
The TNK is getting one more turn, but then the second they pass it, they've lost the game.
Yeah, but they don't have to pass their
Exactly.
turn.
Exactly.
So
The other thing to
a stunning upset.
yeah. The other thing to consider as well is you can't profitably attack into. Oh, eventually you can. Never mind. I was gonna say you're gonna make a bunch of warriors.
I mean, you could attack the Timna player as many times as you want to create as many things as you want, and then
Yeah.
split everything off, right?
Yeah.
If that's what if you're worried about losing like Najeela specifically,
Exactly. You'll make a million warriors, and then you don't
yeah.
care about that board.
then it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But the main problem is then 2 people are dead and you're passing to the Timna player.
Yeah.
Who, if they can win on their turn, that makes this game super interesting.
I'd be very impressed if the Najeela player has enough tokens to represent.
Oh yeah, this is. Although they're all Pokemon, it's cute.
They're very cute. Najeela still wins. Put commander damage on the Angel's Grace player. Yep, very true. Yep. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if they specifically attack, which I don't think they had a choice anyway, because they couldn't just throw Najeela into. Well, I mean they could have attacked the Themberchod player at first for some reason.
Yep.
That could have also been a thing.
Yeah, you are completely correct. They do die on the next turn. If that is the line they're going for, in terms of putting commander damage on, I don't think a lot of players, know or realize that. So something to consider is that is Shane's out right now, is just hoping that Najila is not hitting them.
Yeah, which we don't have the best way to tell where these are going.
Yeah.
It actually looks like they're going at the Thunderchild player first.
Yeah.
He's officially at 0.
Yep.
That was a
Good run.
Yeah, solid start there. Really, really close.
Tim Nook doing the thing. Very impressed by that showing by Thunderchild.
Oh yeah, like he definitely had a turn where it was very close to just being over. He just wanted to give us a little more to talk about for a while, so props to him.
Did it with style. Did it with style for sure.
Look at the storm counters.
Oh, I think that's every combat that we have. So we're going through right now.
Yeah, I was like, it's a storm of tokens.
Lex has won this game unless they are not putting commander damage on Shane.
Yeah, see, here's the thing that we're just conjecturing on, right? But just because something seems simple from the outside, when you're like in a game, it's different, right? When you're thinking through things, might not necessarily be apparent.
100%.
But it does seem reasonable for them to just attack.
Yeah. Okay. What are they? Oh, we might have a Court of Calling.
Oh. Court for what? I mean, it would be for 3?
This game might be far from over. Is there some sort of board wipe that can grab? I don't know.
Or did he have a way to just turn all these? No. There's nothing that turns his stuff sideways, right?
Not that I can think of.
So, I would admit... I'm not sure why these creatures are turned.
Maybe to show that they've damaged or blocked? This is the hard part of not being in the room.
Because even if if they're not dead, they're not dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very curious why those are tapped. But, yeah, unless commander damage... Oh, Derevi's tapping them. Okay.
Okay, I was
Got
like,
it.
I feel like they were tapped on purpose, not...
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I forgot that was another line of text that card can do.
You're like, how often do people have creatures to tap with?
Right.
You're like, never.
I thought we were going to see some spicy Convoke. I was jazzed for it.
Which would have been super interesting out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what would have been good here, but it's
Platinum
not
Angel.
Yeah, Cord for 3, Platinum Angel.
Oh, dang.
I don't.
You saw the line?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work out how you want it to.
Damn. Okay, it looks like this player might be missing the putting the combat damage.
Well, maybe it's just clear out everybody else and then him. I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah. Accurately tracking life. I have to applaud our players.
Yeah, not something you see every time when somebody just kind of pops off is actually still keeping track anymore.
I think Shane's just gonna put themselves to 1. Okay.
Because they would have to specify they're going to keep attacking here.
Yeah.
And if they do not do that, then Shane gets his turn back.
Yep.
So we'll see. We are all waiting to see how this goes. Man, they're over there doing the math on their phone. Appreciate them.
I would just think I'm at
Appreciate them.
100 probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if the life total... Like, could you imagine... I mean, they're not going to win by killing you with the life, so it's probably not super relevant, but appreciate that they're actually trying to keep track.
Yeah. I'm just, like, mesmerized by this board state right now. I need to, like, get back in it right now, but...
So it's like, really interesting decks with Thunderchild, Voja, like, super cool. Now it's just kind of up to the Najila player whether they're going to keep attacking or not.
Was that an indication of passing turn?
I'm not sure. Oh,
We did
yeah,
not.
see? There you go.
Holy heck. Okay. So basically a Final Fortune turn.
I mean, I definitely... This is why I always stick to just play it out, and, sometimes your opponent doesn't see it.
Yep. And we have a great example of that. Shane might run away with this game.
I mean, do you often kill people with Commander Debt? What is that? An Enlightened Tutor?
Enlightened
Okay,
Tutor
I mean,
for
this,
breach. We have the LED. We're winning this game. You have a demonic tutor in your yard.
and that's the thing, right? Is sometimes it's like I said, it's just somebody's in the game, and it's a little hard to see all the aspects of winning.
Wow.
So
How much commander damage? I believe 6 points of commander damage. With 1 or 2 attacks. Actually, maybe just 1.
it might have just been the last one attack,
Wow.
because I think Najila went at everybody else like the majority of times.
That's incredible. This game was stolen. And granted, Lex might have some piece of counter magic.
I mean, we're about to find out because, I mean,
Wow.
Shane has to win now.
Yep.
Which very well could.
Yeah.
Definitely has the technology to do so.
Okay, so we Enlightened Tutor upkeep. We're drawing breach for turn. We have the Lotus Petal, or excuse me, the Lion's Eye Diamond.
Mhm.
We crack that for black. Search for the use Demonic Tutor, find Brain Freeze, and then win the game.
Mox just for fun.
Okay. I like that.
Yep. Just toss land into it. Great.
And I think we're gonna see a breach.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
hey, ooh.
What a swingy game this
Okay,
has been.
a breach,
Yeah,
a breach.
GG's. And we can just Demonic Tutor right away for
I mean, what? Keeping Storm count.
yeah. And that's probably why they cast the Mox Diamond as opposed to just pitching it to Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yep. Crack that for black. We have the blue available for the Brain Freeze. Escape and GG's. Oh, we have the Crom in hand.
Yeah, Crom, get out of here.
I maybe would bin it. I mean, you don't need it, and it's more fuel. You can always just move it when you're breaching anyway. You have an extra
Yeah,
card.
I mean, at this point, it kind of is just an extra card.
Scorish said Pun Palace. Thank you, Scorish, my #1 fan. Yep, 3 black. D-toots for... Unless Najila has an Angel's Grace. Oh, no mana.
Well, they have. It's just there's no color to their mana, so.
The other thing we should note too, Najila should have ended their loop with untapped lands.
Yeah.
That's just,
I mean,
yeah.
at this point, it is what it is. Right?
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Wow, just wow. Probably won't do this next game. LOL. Yeah, I'm curious if they realized or not.
I mean, it's one of those things, right? How often do you play the deck? How often do you have to win that way? These are all things to
Right.
consider.
It's all a learning curve. So we are tainted pacting instead of escaping the.
Oh.
You have to stop there.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh,
uh.
we just don't care.
Okay.
Okay.
Little mnemonic betrayal.
How do
some
you
other
win
stuff.
now? How do you win with? I mean, you Praetor's Grasp and hope that they have a Thoracle? And this is. We have such a privileged position of being able to
Yeah,
see this very objectively.
absolutely.
It's so hard when you're actually sitting there,
Yeah, and it's definitely well, we try to be kind to the players because
but 100%.
being sitting there actually playing and just being in the privileged seat of watching and judging.
Yeah.
these are two different things.
Something to be mindful
Fieldred
of.
just for funsies.
Pyrexy Metamorph.
Maybe
Maybe a Lab Man? I don't know. What do you gamble for now? I'm super confused.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like he's stopping at the gamble, but okay.
Gamble for Brain Freeze? Maybe they're just trying to Brain Freeze Najila? I'm very confused. But I'm sure they have a reason. They're playing. They're here for high stakes. There's a reason players play the way they do.
Yeah.
I'm so curious to
I
ask
was
them
like,
after the game.
he's clearly talking through whatever he's doing with
Yeah.
his opponent here, so.
B&K Teft Command Town instead of UC. Yep. I mean, what are we escaping?
1, 2.
I'm mesmerized.
Yeah.
And this is part of the issue. I've talked
Okay,
about this
get the LED
before.
back, sure.
The first round of a tournament, especially a full 4-player multiplayer tournament,
Mm-hmm.
the first round is, I don't want to say make or break, but you're easing into being in that tournament brain,
Yeah.
and you're also kind of
It's the
warming
warm up.
up.
It's
Yeah,
the warm up. It is.
yeah. So you have 4 red, or 3 red, 1 black,
Mhm.
access to blue. They might just be trying to go through their storm count and then brain freeze Najila
Yeah.
for the win.
Maybe they didn't want to do the hard math of the Oracle. They're just like, you know what? I could just. How much you got? Let's just go for that line.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
excited
well,
to
here's the
talk to this
gamble.
player after the game and just kind of learn what that thought process was.
See what they were talking about.
Yeah, because maybe there's
Find out
something
the
that I
hidden
missed.
details that we
Yeah.
don't know about either.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I'm gonna check time in the round as well, because that's also something to be mindful of. We have 12 minutes.
Yeah, 12 minutes. That's more than enough to
Yeah.
do whatever is happening
Yeah,
here.
we'll be all right.
I was like, I mean,
Okay.
Okay, so-
finish the brain freeze. So it looks like they're just gonna brain freeze themselves and brain freeze Najila. Yeah, that is a way to do it. You can get pretty high on Storm, you can mill your whole deck, and then just
yeah.
pass.
I mean, storm count's at a pretty decent level at this point.
I think you have to hit your own brain freeze now to fill your yard and then start looping LED.
Yeah, because otherwise you're short on cards. Just raw payables, I guess we could call them.
All right, we're pitching the gamble. Interesting.
Well, it's already in the yard. He's just using it to pay. But
Real loops with Angel's Grace, I suppose. It does.
that doesn't seem necessary.
It could be the line they're going for.
Also, that does seem a good way to die to Commander
Yeah.
if you for some reason had to pass the turn again.
So we're gonna mill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30.
Yeah. I mean, let's assume it's probably about half the deck in the yard at least
Yeah.
now.
And now you just brain freeze
Yeah.
your opponent.
You should have more than enough to pay for this a couple more times.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably I was like he's probably literally having the Najila player count right now.
Yeah.
How many do you have left?
Yeah, cards in deck. No reason.
The math is important. If you're even one off, like it's the big difference,
Feels
right?
terrible.
So you probably sit here, count now, and go, okay, I can do this X amount of times. Is that enough?
Yep.
Which you would imagine 2 times has got to be enough. But
has to be.
in case it's slightly short,
I think you can pretty comfortably, if you mill yourself for like 6 at a time as well, you can pretty comfortably do this 3 times.
yeah, because you're also adding additional storm every time, like you get like an LED back in place of 2, right? So it's like you will be able to brain freeze for 40, 50 cards just off of 1.
GG's. Easy.
So this looks all wrapped up, but you know, as we've seen, you just need to allow players to finish their turn.
Yep. Yeah.
Because there's a handful of times just throughout this round where it looked like one player was winning, and then they just did not somehow.
True. Yeah, the Angel's Grace being the play of the game, it came out of
Yeah,
absolutely
that was-
nowhere.
The VIP card of the round, the Angel's Grace, throwing everybody off.
Yeah.
How do you feel as the players that don't have the Angel's Grace? Like, oh, well, I guess
Thank
I'm
you.
just dead. Thanks.
Honestly, if I'm like Thunderchat or Voja, I'm like, okay, I'm so happy I'm out of this game.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, how is nobody winning? Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, how are you guys not winning? Like,
Yeah.
but if we continue to eat through time, and I mean, clock is something that really needs to be managed right now. We have 9 minutes left. If they're doing this manually, if for whatever reason this takes 9 minutes, they're just going to.
It looks like they're talking to. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely casting it now. So they're gonna count them. They're gonna go through.
If granted, you can't talk once you're out of the game, but like Tim or Jeffrey should be like, if seeing this being manually done is so good because you can get for the draw.
That did not look like a lot of cards.
No, I think they milled themselves with it as well as
Oh, maybe aimed only some at them.
Yeah.
Sure. That very well could be.
Okay, looks like we're casting. Oh, not casting. Yeah.
Yes, important to remember. Brain freeze. You target for each copy, so you don't necessarily have to say they're all at me or they're all at you. You can do what you want with them.
Curious if Shane has a lab man.
I mean, at this point, it seems like you still just win off brain freezing your opponent like 2 times.
Yeah.
Unless I'm very wrong about how many cards the Najila player has left. Right now, 1 brain freeze should be at least like 40 cards.
Yeah, easy.
Because he's got, assuming the storm count is correct, that he's been keeping track of over there, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, this is a slog of a having to do this manually is so not having shortcuts is time consuming.
Yeah. So I guess if it's 9 times 3, it's a little less than 30. But then you would do 30 off of the next one, and then more off of that.
yeah.
So it really comes down to exactly how many cards he has.
Yeah. I think
Which at any point you can ask your opponent to count their cards. That is just a thing you can do.
and you're gonna get storm count +1 because you get the original copy of Brain Freeze as well.
Yeah, so okay, here we go. Here we go. It's a significant stack.
Yeah. we're getting there. We're getting there. What yeah. Oh sorry. Wheel does loop it.
Yeah, okay, so it's a handful. I'm curious if they think that there's anything left in their deck to be useful.
Yeah, I don't know what graveyard trick. I don't know. They might have an Angel's Grace.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It could just be that they're a careful player that has been keeping track of everything, which I appreciate, believe
Sure.
me. But it's just interesting the way they look through, like, there might have been something to consider.
Okay, yeah, we're going for it. We wheeled. Interesting wheel.
Oh.
Or are we just scooping it up? Yeah, we're shuffling. I think we're
Okay.
scooping.
Well, I suppose these players could clean up regardless, right? But I mean, if you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say what's happening.
They're getting tokens returned. I think the game's over. They're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like they've come to an agreement
Wow.
that that's the game. So wow, Angel's Grace. Angel's Grace.
POTG, play of the game.
That was-
nerf this.
Literally sitting there thinking, wow, the Najila player, okay, fine. They waited all that time. They racked up everything they needed,
Yeah.
and then they went for it. Good for them. And then all of a sudden, Tim Necrom player is just like, nah, I got one more turn in me.
Crazy game. What happens if they go to time? If active player cannot win the game when it goes to time, the game results in a draw for all players in the pod.
Yeah, unlike a regular, just, modern, standard, whatever kind of constructed event, EDH has that nice little built-in, like, the game's over.
Yep.
Everybody figure it out. So
Can I go talk to our players real quick?
yeah,
about
so
that?
so
Yeah.
so right now we're gonna wrap up. This was just round 1. So right now we have probably about 5-6 minutes, a couple extra minutes probably after time gets called just to put in the last scores, and then we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere, don't leave us. You want to see more of these decks, right? I don't know if we'll have another Themberchaud deck.
Probably not.
But we can dream. But we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Thanks, y'all.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope that wait wasn't too long, but I think we did it. I think we did good. I'm Michelle Tanner.
I am Lauren, also known as MTG_hot dog.
I have to be specific. And we're bringing you the FishBowl 3 round 2. If you guys were here for round 1, wow, what a round. If you missed it, go back, go watch it later. Just go watch. I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, go watch it later. Like, it's gonna be a highlight. It's
One
gonna
word.
be.
Thumber Chow.
And what does it? Look, I'm not gonna spoil it. It makes me want to spoil it. But who do we got here?
Well, we have an absolutely stacked pod. I want to make sure I have the seat pairings properly. So seat 1, we have Matt Box. Matt Box is a known tournament grinder. On Timna Crom, Matt Top Ford, CCU1.
Okay.
So kind of a name to watch. Seat 2, Max Sternberg, also known as Wounded Satellite. He flew in for this event on his namesake deck of Kinnan.
Nice.
He recently got his first tournament win. He's chasing another, but really well-known Wounded Satellite. You know, if you consume cEDH content, you know who this guy is. Seat 3, we have Matt Sperling of Playing with Power fame, playing Talion. I don't want to brag. I'm a known Talion enjoyer, so maybe I'm rooting for Talion. Who knows? And then seat 4, we have Sergio Navarro, Rogue Rock Silas. Sergio is at every event, tournament grinder, top 16er. All 4 of these players, I don't care what seat position they're in right now, all 4 of these players have a chance to win this game.
So we're saying strong.
These are
strong.
if you were like, hey, give me a list of the top, 20 players that could be at this event, here's 4 of them right here.
Yeah. Well, this should be I feel like it's either going to be a really slow match or a really fast one. I feel like there's no in between. But all powerful decks, all strong players. You have to assume that they kind of know what to look out for and like what to play into, what not, that kind of thing.
100%.
So it tends to draw out games, but you never know. Sometimes somebody just goes for it and they just have it.
Yep.
And I love when that happens.
Yeah,
It won't give us coverage, but I love when it happens.
And I think that's what Rogsai wants to do. The longer this game goes, the worse position Rogsai's in.
Right.
Turbo decks sort of thrive. Other decks, they're going to wait for their window and then capitalize on it. Turbo decks such as Rogsai are just going to bust through the wall and make their own window.
You make them have it, and
Yep.
if they don't have an answer for you, great.
100%. And I do want to shout out Matt rocking the MTG hot dog sticker on his Timna.
Oh, look at that.
He's a man after
Just
my own
slide
heart.
him that beforehand.
No, he's had it for like
Get a little
years
toast.
now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think Kinnan's gonna have a little bit of a hard time. For better or for worse, Max is an incredibly skilled player, and does really well in the politicking aspect, which is, I think, contributes a lot to Max's success.
A strong thing to consider.
These players aren't going to buy into those politics, though.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's here for themselves, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And trying to buy yourself a little bit of leeway, it can be... You got to roll pretty high on your charisma checks, I think, to really sell that.
And I'm willing to bet all of these guys have probably played against each other at least once in a tournament setting. So
Yeah,
they know each
yeah.
other's game. They've seen each other online before. Matt is probably the least online out of these 3. But Matt Bach, he's a sneaky player. He's one of the best Los Angeles-based players. I've played a lot against Matt. Incredible guy, super nice guy. But he's familiar with his opponent's games as well, even though he's not as online as the other 3.
Sure.
This is such a banger of a pod. And I was like, okay, I had one person in mind if we were going to feature, and then I was like, oh, we have all 4 of them? Okay, sick. Like, these are all such good players.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get really, really stacked pods like this early, but sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, and Matt Sperling has really delved into playing more cEDH. I think they're more of a well-known 60-card grinder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know him a bit more from regular constructive, but yeah, it's nice to see him branching out, and I hope to see some interesting magic here. Again, if you didn't see round 1, watch it, but I hope it's at least as interesting as round 1, because what a game. What a game.
And I think we're facing down. I'm actually going to look up to see if this pod composition has ever existed. Talion's really starting to gain popularity. I just want to make sure I have the seats proper.
The Rograg Silas deck is a little bit of a newer element. Is that correct?
No, it's been around. It's
It just never really like popped off that much. I personally haven't seen it that much, but again, not a commander enjoyer such as yourself. So
I'm gonna flame this deck. And let me preface, I play Rogsai right now. Rogsai is very popular because it does sort of everything you want to do in cEDH. It has a very, very high skill ceiling.
sure.
So I think a lot of people get off of that deck because they can't convert into a top 16 placing, but a lot of people play that deck and not a lot of people do well with it.
Sure. Okay, well, I mean, I guess if we're going to see it do well at all today, this is a perfect round to possibly pop off.
So I'd like to shout out Datatog. Datatog, as I work with Top Deck, I do consulting work for them. And they have provided a resource for him. So I want to shout out the resource before I get into this, but I'm running the data to see what games that have been tracked on Command Tower. We have a turn 1 Ristic study.
Hey.
Jeez Louise.
The quickest of starts. That hot dog sticker really going the distance here.
The crazy part, so this data that I have has 21,360 games tracked over data collected via Command
couple.
Tower. This is the first time we've ever seen this pod composition.
Well, I guess we'll see who seems fit. Well, Kinnan already just out there. Just out there.
Feeding the Ristic already, too.
I don't know if that's an altar or just a proxy, but it's pretty sick.
That is an altar, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Let's go Surge, yeah, Surge. Rogsai is wash. Yeah, shout out to Scorish. I know Scorish does play Rogsai.
So we got Mock Saber getting a birds out. Really just kind of dumping the hand here from the Kinnan player.
I like it. If you make a land drop, you have a Kinnan activation next turn.
Yeah, which you imagine out of the, 2 cards they have left, there's probably a land with there.
Hopefully.
So,
Mana Crypt paying for the Ristic passing.
interesting.
Humble start.
Okay. I mean, Talion not exactly the fastest deck, I suppose, but could be worse.
Yeah, Talion is wanting to bring this game down to a halt. The issue in doing that is Kinnan can capitalize on a slower game as well.
Oh, and it looks like we're just popping off with half the commanders in play already.
Boxing with Shadows is asking how do mulligans work in EDH. You get 1 free mulligan. So you look at your first 7 and you can mulligan that for a second 7, and then it's regular mulligan rules after that. But you get 1 free one in a multiplayer format.
Yeah, which makes sense given it's a 100-card deck. I mean, your ratio of lands and mana to spells is significantly skewed.
Yep. Yeah, the variance is much higher in a singleton 100-card format as opposed to a traditional 60-card format.
You want everybody to have the best shot of playing reasonable Magic. But yeah, so half the commanders in play already. I thought this was turn 1. Am I wrong? Did we miss? Did I blink out? Did I go into a coma and just wake up?
You did.
Okay.
It's actually round 5 now.
Yeah, that's how it feels. There's so many permanents out already. Okay, so Talisman.
Oh, wow.
Come on now.
So Talisman of Progress into a Mystic Remora.
I was gonna say, is this just double the Ristic Mystic setup here?
I'll take this any day of the week.
You're basically just not paying into it. Just let them draw the cards at this point.
Yeah.
You really can't fight it very well.
And I think Kinnan doesn't care as much about the Ristics and Mystics. They can get around it with the activations.
Okay, well, there's a land.
Yep.
So
they're down, 7 mana I count with Kinnan.
So it seems reasonable to attack the person with no creature in play. Probably. Just for funsies. It's not like an O1's really doing anything, but
Yeah, you're probably attacking Rogsai or Timnacrom. You don't... Oh, the One Ring.
okay.
Sure. Seems good.
Just in case.
So that tells me... I mean, I'm curious the prioritization over the One Ring over a Kinnan activation, and maybe it's just because the game is slow. This is their opportunity to have a draw engine in play to try to out-resource or outpace the Ristic and Mystic.
Could be the possibility of just thinking, does somebody have removal for my Kinnan?
Yeah, true. Try to find more answers.
Yeah, because with this board state, it does seem reasonable that somebody can deal with a 2/2.
Yep. And I think pressuring the Timnacrom life total is better than hoping they block with the Rog. Talion doesn't really care about their life total in the same way that these other decks do. Timnacrom is drawing a lot of cards, so if they hit that Adnaz...
They're drawing so many cards.
Yeah, you want to deprive them as much as possible.
All right, if you cast nothing, they won't draw anything. So,
Hold on.
that's really the line.
She saw the line. That's the key. Doctors hate this one trick.
Yeah, this one trick. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
Just become like water there, just Bruce Lee, stay in the background, don't let anybody notice you, and then go off in one turn.
So what happens when my opponents have a Ristic and Mystic? I simply enter into a catonic state.
That's what I said. It's too much. It's too much. Maybe you won't pay for it.
Yeah. I go into a hyperbolic time chamber and I train for years. We have a oh gosh, is that a massacre? All creatures get -2/-2, and you can pay oh no. If you control a swamp, you can cast it for free. All creatures get